Hey. The first tape that I ever had, that I ever owned, that I ever bought myself, was Boys to Men. And it was my favorite tape. And I used to fight with my brother over it all the time because even though he was like a big tough guy, he really liked R&B, and so he would always steal my Boys to Men tape. And he'd have friends over, and I'd go and embarrass him and be like, "Where's my Boys to Men tape?" And he'd get on, "I don't know where your Boys to Men tape is," you know. But that was definitely my first tape that I ever bought. The first tapes that I had that were given to me were Bonnie Raitt, so I love Bonnie Raitt, and Meatloaf, Bad Outta Hell, which is still like one of my favorite all-time albums. I would say that my favorite thing to do definitely is be at the beach. It's always a good day at the beach. It always puts you in a good mood, you know. It just makes you really happy inside to lay on the warm sand, to have the hot sun beating down on you, to be able to go play in the waves, and driving around little beach towns is always really nice. So I would say my favorite thing to do definitely is go to the beach with my girlfriends, with my family, with my kid. I also really like to go exploring, like just driving around absolutely nowhere, finding different things to explore, trying new small town restaurants that you just happen to come across. Those are definitely my favorite things to do. My favorite things to do at home would probably be just hanging out with friends, listening to music, or watching movies. Um, I like spending time at home, and I like spending time with my friends. So, you know, it's a win win. If I could have any meal from anywhere, I don't know, it would probably be just a classic donair. But like an East Coast donair, a real donair. Not that I don't like the ones in London, but I need a classic donair. Alcoholic drink to go with it would probably be a rum and coke. It's my favorite drink, rum and coke. Or like a Pombe or something like that. And dessert, I'd say deep fried cheesecake or creme brulee. Those are like my two favorite desserts. If I could give my 20-year-old self advice, I think I would probably say don't worry so much. Don't worry about everything. Don't worry about what people think. Don't worry about how you look. Don't worry about if you're going to try and fail. Just don't worry. Just try things and fail. Look stupid in front of people and then move on with your life. Make bad decisions and then fix them. Like, just don't worry so much. I think people in their 20s worry a lot about how they're perceived, and what other people think about them, and think about their decisions, and think about their boyfriends. And there are lots of times where I didn't go out with this guy because I was too concerned about what everybody else would think about him, or I didn't wear my hair this way because I was too concerned that people wouldn't like it. So I would just say, don't worry, just do what you want, don't hurt anybody. The most beautiful thing I have ever seen, that would probably have to be my baby. When I had my baby, um, I just thought that he was the most perfect and beautiful thing that I had ever seen in my life. Like, when I was looking at him when he was born, I felt like he looked like a picture perfect baby. Like, he looked like a model, he looked like a Gerber baby. He was just the most beautiful thing I had ever seen. Looking back at his newborn pictures, you can see that he was just a gangly, weird looking baby like all the other babies. He had a weird shaped head, he was all splotchy and miscolored, and but I didn't see that at the time. Like, when I was looking at him through my new mom eyes, I just saw this perfect, beautiful baby. I didn't see any flaws at all. And I was expecting a girl. It was a big surprise that he was a boy. So I would say that that would be the most beautiful thing I've ever seen, just looking at my baby boy. I would say that the cutest moment with my mom and dad would just be any time you catch them dancing in the living room or dancing in the dining room. Anytime it's a holiday and we're having drinks, so like Christmas Eve, for example, you'll look over and mom and dad will be slow dancing in the dining room. And those were always really, really cute moments. I always loved those moments. I would say the most memorable thing I could think of about my parents would definitely be all the vacations they took us on when we were younger. Every summer, every March break, every holiday, every chance we got, my parents made sure that we went on a vacation somewhere. So we always had the car packed, usually with Mary Ellen and Sean and Danielle as well. And we'd go camping or we would go out of town exploring. We would come from Nova Scotia to Ontario to visit our family here. But I would say just road tripping and vacationing as a kid is the most memorable thing I have about my parents. The best memory I have with my cousins would definitely have to be when we went to PEI for a family vacation. I think I was maybe 5 or 6. But it's just definitely the best memory I have of my cousins. We, played on the cliffs of PEI. Me and Danielle got stuck in a cave because we went into this cave when the tide was out, and then the tide came in, and we couldn't leave the cave. We played with jellyfish and swam in the ocean, and it was just a really good time. I think almost all of us were there, except for Jimmy and Nicole. I think the rest of the cousins were there. So that was a really good trip. It was a lot of fun. I wanted to get a jellyfish tattoo to commemorate that trip because it was so awesome. One of the days where me and my family were all staying out in Ipperwash, and we were out there for the week. I'd say one of those days was probably the best day of my life because I had my entire family together, my aunts, my uncles, my older cousins, my little cousins. We were out there with Leslie and her whole family, and every day we just woke up and we went to the beach. We laid around on the beach, we drank. We always had really good barbecue dinners, and I'd say one of those days was probably the best day of my life. Those are really great memories that I have, and I really am so happy that we did that vacation that way. Why do I like mermaids so much? I think it has a lot to do with growing up in Nova Scotia and growing up on the ocean and being the right age when The Little Mermaid was released. I'm not sure what year that was released, but that was definitely the movie of my childhood. And whenever I would go to the beach when I was younger, I would always pretend to be a mermaid. I would try and swim like a mermaid. I would find a rock that was sticking out of the water, and I'd go lay on it and pretend I was Ariel. And I think it has a lot to do, too, with just how magical and mysterious mermaids are. Are they real? Are they not real? They're just the coolest. Yeah, if I could give a message to all my family and friends, I would just say, don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened. I would like to be remembered as someone who is kind and loyal. I take a lot of pride in trying to always do the right thing and be a nice person. I put a lot of work into being a kind person. And same goes for my loyalty. I pride myself in being a loyal friend. And I put a lot of work into being a loyal person. I made a point to always try and be a kind and loyal person. So that's definitely how I would want everyone to remember me. I think I would just like to add that, I don't want anybody to feel bad for me. I don't want you to pity me or cry for me. Like, I've had a good life and I don't regret any of the decisions that I've made. I'm very happy with who I've been and the connections I've made and the way that I've treated people. And I've had a great ride. It's been a great trip. And, I don't regret anything. And I'm very at peace with everything that's going on. So I don't want people to feel sad for me.
Someone to care, someone to share lonely hours and the moments of despair. To be loved, to be loved. Oh, what a feeling to be loved. Someone to kiss, someone to miss when you're away. To hear from me today, to be loved, to be loved. Oh, what a feeling to be loved. Some wish to be a king or a queen. Some wish for fortune and fame. But to be truly, truly, truly loved is more than all of these things. Oh, someone to kiss, someone to miss.